Hello everyone, it's me Tiffany. Welcome to my channel where I share all things pregnancy, postpartum, and motherhood related. I am a certified birth and postpartum doula, so that means I support women and their families on their journey from conception to postpartum. If you have not had a chance yet, please check out my website at www.nurturebytiff.com, where you can check out my doula services. You can check out my childbirth education courses. You can also check out my blogs. So in a conversation the other day with someone, and they were telling me, about miscarriage and how it's not really a conversation that a lot of women or a lot of people just talk about in general. And there is, for whatever reason, a lot of shame around a miscarriage. As someone who has experienced 2 of them myself, I can honestly say that it does bring about a lot of feelings of failure, maybe inadequacy. Like, when you think of a woman, you think that is just one of the things that she is just automatically supposed to be able to do. You're supposed to be able to get pregnant. You're supposed to be able to, carry your pregnancy to term and, have healthy, babies. But I feel like that's a conversation that does need to be had, that we need to stop being ashamed of that side of pregnancy. When we think of pregnancy, we always want to focus on the, exciting times of pregnancy, the happiness, but in reality, while a lot of pregnancies are happy and joyous, there are a lot that, are not, for whatever reason, whether it's because you've had to deal with a miscarriage, or maybe you had to deal with a stillbirth, or, maybe you've even not enjoyed being pregnant. I have come across, some women who have been pregnant and just have not liked the process of it, the journey of it within itself. The nausea that comes with it, the fatigue, just your body not really feeling like it belongs to you anymore because you are in the process of, and if y'all hear like some little dangling and stuff going on, it's raining. It's been raining for like the past 2 days here, but y'all may hear like little raindrops and stuff. But, growing a baby is not always easy. It's not always fun. And the things that come along with, growing your baby, being pregnant, the whole, birthing experience is not always fun. My first miscarriage, I was right at, 6 weeks pregnant. It's still fairly early, but it was still devastating to say the least. I went, to have a checkup, to see, how everything was going, and boom, was told that there was no heartbeat. And I don't know, I felt like a failure, honestly, because I'm like, wait a minute, I've been pregnant before. I can do, I know I can do this. Like, what in the world? And then, my partner at the time, I felt like I had failed him. It was just so much, so many feelings that I was really feeling. And it became a thing where I started to like go on this quest of, I've got to get pregnant because, I lost this one. And sometimes it can be the opposite for other women. Sometimes, having a miscarriage or going through a stillbirth or, losing a pregnancy, they may have fear of never, they never want to get pregnant again because they don't want to go through that. But some of it becomes like their mission. It's like, hey, I've got to, I've got to get pregnant. I've got to do this. I know I can do this. And ended up, I did get pregnant again. It was probably like 4 months later, 4 or 5 months later. And, I had a little scares here and there in the beginning of that pregnancy, bleeding and things like that went on. Everything was fine. We were making our move overseas, and I really wasn't feeling well. I wasn't feeling right. I was so incredibly sick. Like I could barely get up. I could barely walk. I could barely do anything, with that pregnancy. And I was just like, man, it's just draining me. I'm like, I just got to make it through these first 3 months. You think in the first 3 months, that's when you're out of your, danger zone during your pregnancy. They say once you make it through those first 12 weeks, you should be pretty good as far as like miscarriages and things like that go. And I had made it past those first 3 months. I was still incredibly sick. we ended up going, you know, overseas, still sick. I ended up passing out one day, and that was traumatic. It was me, you know, my daughter were the only ones who were at home at that time. I'm in a foreign country, and I was trying to get prenatal care, you know, on the military base at that time, but they did not do prenatal care on the military base. I had to go out on the economy, as they call it, and you know, get care. They did an ultrasound. Come to find out, I was 14, 15 weeks, somewhere in there. No heartbeat again. Devastated, you know, like the anxiety. It's like, oh my gosh, like what is going on? Ended up having to have you know, surgery to remove the baby and everything. And again, I just was like, maybe I'm not cut out for this. Maybe I couldn't do this. And I made the decision, like, okay, we're not doing this anymore. Well, I ended up getting pregnant again, and I was so filled with so much anxiety that whole time. I know my OBGYN overseas was probably sick of me, because I was calling her all the time with any little thing. And she really was really good. She let me come in when I felt like I needed to come in, versus, you know, in the beginning you have you know, your checkups once a month, you know, but she would see me like every other week, or however I felt like I needed to see her. But I said all that to say that women should be able to sit around, even men, because, you know, husbands, boyfriends, men, they have issues behind, you know, their women losing their babies as well. You know what I'm saying? It affects everyone in different ways. And it just should not be a thing of where you're afraid to talk about it. Don't be, you know, ashamed or feel like, you know, you can't speak up. Don't feel like you know, don't need any support after you experience something like this. I've had women tell me like, oh, well, you know, I was only 6 weeks, I was only 7 weeks, I was only 8 weeks, I was only 12 weeks, or, you know, whatever. So I just felt like it really wasn't important, or I felt like I couldn't speak up, I felt like I couldn't say anything. Meanwhile, you're depressed behind it, you know, you're feeling anxious behind it. And it's okay. These are normal feelings. You're grieving, you know, you're grieving that loss. You're grieving the loss of what could have been. Like, you know, this was my child, you know, no matter where you are in the process, it's still a difficult process. And I think that people feeling like they can't open up and talk about it makes it even more difficult, you know, to get through it. So I just wanted to get on here and kind of, you know, share my experience and let you know that, you know, hey, listen, sometimes there's things that are just out of our control. I know sometimes some women feel like the miscarriage, you know, was their fault. The stillbirth was their fault. And things happen that are beyond our control sometimes. Things that we can't comprehend, things that we don't think are fair. But just know that it is okay. Know that you are not the only one that is going through this, that has gone through this, that will go through this. Just know that it's okay. It's okay to share your story. It's okay to talk about your feelings. It's okay. Don't feel ashamed. Don't feel like your body has betrayed you. Don't feel like, you know, you're incapable or, you know, anything like that. You know, things happen in life. You may not feel fair in the moment, you know, but it's okay. Don't be ashamed. So anyway, I just want to get on here and kind of vent a little bit about that. I thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you on the next one.